Well, howdy there all you folks. Welcome back. I'm Das, I'm your host, and we're starting to get into some projects that I've been really looking forward to. Baja's done. It's ripping around, a lot of fun to drive. Snapped a clutch cable in it yesterday and managed to repair it. What a nightmare that was, but we won't go into that. We're going to pull it out and we're actually going to start getting into a project that's just been one I've been wanting to get into a lot, for a long time, but I've just had all these other kind of half-finished projects that I needed to sort, otherwise I knew I was going to get to them. Anyway, today's the day. Let's push this off the hoist and let's get another car on there. Now, for those of you that have been watching this channel for a while, I know there's, one or two of you. There's a couple of you anyway. If you are watching this channel and you haven't subscribed, do a guy a favour. Please hit the subscribe button, send us a like, comment. It helps the algorithm. I know everyone's asking for it, but look, it doesn't take a second of your time. I'm trying to build this channel. It seems to have kind of stalled, but we need to keep it cracking. I'm enjoying what I do and I hope some of you guys are too. So if you are and you haven't hit the subscribe button, take a second to do that now. Thank you very much. This car here, this has been my pet project since the beginning of this channel. And, for one reason or another, I've always just pushed it to a back burner. But now's the time. I put a poll out and the resounding note was get the Beetle Ute cracking. So, game plan is, I've been robbing bits off this car. I've pulled the front beam out of it, different stuff. I got to get it back to rolling again. I'm going to throw that beam in it, even if it's just temporary. I got to get that beam in it to make it a roller. So, I do believe that beam's going to be too wide for the wheels that I want to put on it. So at least it's got the right stud pattern for what I'm looking for. It's a Ford stud pattern. It's got a steering box in it. We can make this thing, roll and steer and all that. So I'll do that today. And then, of course, the next step on this is just to start working this body. I've got to get this body to a point where I can actually start to feel that it's, worth working on. So parts of that are, there's still a fair bit of rust after I got it sandblasted. All these sections through here, which aren't major. I'll just work on that. I'll try the new TIG out on that, see if we can't get that to be good. And there's some stuff down in the sills that needs to be repaired. We'll just get this thing off and actually just try to start buttoning up some of the loose ends. Well, there it is, split apart again for the first time in God knows how long. And this time when I split it, it's got the tray on it. So we have made progress, or when I say, I mean I've been solo working in this shed for way too long. Anyway, here's the thing. I need to start looking at, mount this beam on. That shouldn't take me long. I'm missing a couple of bits. I've robbed a couple of nuts off that, but I think I've got another on another car that's in there. Bolt the beam on, put some wheels on it, got a roller. Okay, boom, that should take me not that long at all. Next step is to push that back. And I think what I'm going to do next is actually get this body to a stage where it can be worked and I can actually start throwing some filler on it. The doors they're a good fit. There's just some questionable bodywork that I did previously. And I've got to decide whether or not, am I keeping this thing, splittable, or do I just weld it together as a solid unit? Maybe you guys can help me with that. Give us an answer. What do you guys reckon? I talked to the engineer. He was happy for me to just weld it together, but at the same time, Volkswagen, it's kind of nice to be able to split things apart. Let me know what you think. Send me a comment. That's how it works. All right, I'm going to get cracking. I'm going to put this front beam on, try and get this thing back to rolling. You know when you're putting stuff back together and you can't find one washer or one bolt and you just search for hours because you knew you had it and you've seen it in the drawer, but you can't remember which drawer or which section of the drawer? That's not happened to me tonight. I'm telling you right now. That beam was missing all its bits. I'm talking, you know, the big fat washers that go underneath the camber adjuster on the, you know, that thing. Found 2 of them. Don't know how. Didn't even know I owned them. Found 2 of them. Shocks, bolted straight on. Found the nuts for the things. It's just like boom, boom, boom. Look at it. Front beam installed. Probably half an hour. Unbelievable. I've been waiting to put these suckers back on for... See, I don't even know where they are anymore. That's the thing. This shop is just so empty. It's doing my head in. I've got wheels somewhere. I'm thinking that's them right there. That's me fronts. I'll just get them. We'll throw them back on. You know, at least then we can see what this thing's looking like with its wheels back on. I gotta say, this is a bit of an exciting moment for me. These are one of my, all-time favourite set of wheels. Never thought I'd own a pair. Now I do. I actually own 2 sets of Weld wheels. I've only got 1 set, which is a set of Weld Stars that I really want to get. So once I got them, basically my all-time dream wheels have been achieved. Okay, so this is just swinging in the air, so let's hope I can get this to go on correctly. Nice. Come on. Not you. Try that one. I'll just put 3 nuts on it for now. It's basically just to get it rolling. Throw the other side on. May as well put a center because I'm here. I don't know if that's going to get it. I reckon the thingamajig's going to get stuck in there, so I'll put a jack back in the middle. That's a mean rake on that car. I'm telling you right now. The major accomplishment I got last time was getting this built. So pieces are starting to come together. So now the plan is I'll push it back, we'll lower the body down, I'll take the fenders off, the guards off as we call them, and we'll start looking at what needs to be cut out and fixed and welded. And I mean, you know, there's, I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. I can't see nothing. You know, it's like a starry night up through there with pinholes, so I'm going to have to go over all of it. Got to do something about these slots here. I've got to make them so they actually just fit down and with a rubber seal are nice and tight on the chassis. I've got to weld up. I've got to weld a plate in here for where it mounts down on the car. I've got to patch in all this, and all this side needs to be sorted out. Previous jobs not done by me aren't good, so we've got to make that better. The underneath of these heater channels is all pretty shot, as are some of the sides of the heater channels. So I'm thinking to do a heater channel, just a complete delete, and actually just fold up a nice bit of heavy angle that goes straight into there and just gets rid of this section of the heater channel. It'll look pretty neat as well. All of that and more is stuff I've been thinking about for a long time. All right, well let's push this sucker back. And now with the body off, it looks much more like that's the front of a car than the back of a car, which it actually is. So, you know, there's stuff to do there. We've got to rectify a few things there. Anyway, let's push this out and maybe start cutting a few holes in that thing. Well, there it is. Back to the original bit that I started with. You know, and even getting to this stage was a heck of a lot of work. But I'm ready to, I feel like I've learned a lot since I started this project. It's kind of been, everything I've been doing has been trying to teach myself, you know, skills so I could actually build this car nicely. Hey, I'm not there yet. I've got a lot to learn still. I'm the first to admit it, but I have improved in some, you know, in a lot of areas. So what I'm going to try and attack first up is, try and fix some of the blunders that I started with earlier. You know, stuff that I just kind of brushed over. I mean, this was only ever going to be a quick project back in the day, but it's turned into kind of a love project, and it's something that I really want to get nice. I mean, it's something of this caliber. It's a rarity. Like, you're not going to see a car like this often. And the way it's done, it's going to, you know, represent me and what I do, and I'm trying to, you know, up my game in that kind of respects. Anyway, enough about me. Things I need to fix, you know, what I'm probably going to do is just cut. You can see my welder was actually breaking at the time, and I've got a new welder since then. So rather than try and repair this, I'm just going to chop a section out, and I'll just re-weld that in. You know, other things, I've now got a TIG, so I'll try and just plug up some of these little rust holes if I can without blowing them bigger. If not, I'll put a new section through there. I'll just, you know, put a piece through my roller, and I'll just actually cut out and put a whole new section through there. I've got, there's a peak in this roof that I don't like. At a certain angle, you can see, yeah, there's a peak there. It kind of, instead of just being nice and even, so I'll be cutting back through here and trying to shrink that together to make it less of a peak. A lot of hammer and dolly work, a lot of holes to fill up from, you know, when I put things together originally. I've got to figure out where do the hot water, you know, where do the radiator lines run? In this car, I'm doing a front mount radiator. You know, although in that car I have a rear mount radiator and it works, car is going to get thrashed. Like this car, all I want it to do is burnouts. Basically, V-dubs and burnouts, it's one of them things. They're hard to do. Like you got so much traction in the rear because all the weight's there. This car, it's going to have 380 horsepower in the rear end. It's got to be able to brake them wheels. So it's got to be strong and reliable and not overheat. So I'm going to chop the radiator in the front. I've got it. And I've actually started cutting holes. So basically this whole front section will go out for the radiator. Fuel tank's going to be in the rear, so I'll delete that. What else? You know, there's many things to do. But in the meantime, look, we'll just start on the small stuff and see if we can't make it better. That's all I can try, is just make it better. Well, I guess, you know, proof of the pudding is in the eating. I guess that's the saying for now. I think I'm better than I used to be. You know, I mean, this is a repair panel that, you know, I did previously that looked like that. Admittedly, like I said, my welder was having all kinds of issues, I remember, at this point on this build. But, you know, this is a heck of a lot better. The panel's going to be straight. I managed to massage out a fair bit of this section here as well, which I wasn't happy with. So, you know, overall, I think with a few swift cuts and a few kind of, you know, tacks and welds and plates here and there, I'll make this car, you know, better. See that side? It's not good, but it's better. I can probably massage a fair bit of that out with a hammer and dolly, which I will. Anyway, keep going on this project. Well, it's another Arvo, just done another day's work, and here I am back in the shed. What I'm trying to achieve today is I just want to start patching some of the things I've been looking at for a long time. Yesterday I kind of got all that tacked in place. I'm just going to leave that for a minute, and I just want to get some stuff just moving on this thing. So I'm going to start by doing some of these little, like, you know, windscreen repairs. You can see, you know, I've just kind of bent up a little piece that's going to hopefully take care of some of that. You know, and I'll work my way along here, get that repaired. I've got that one to do as well. I'll see if I can, you know, probably just maybe cut it along there, fold the piece up and just kind of patch it in so it's not, you know, the whole piece has to come out. I'll get that. Going around the car. There's been stuff that was done previous to me that's, you know, also not great, but that's okay. We'll just try and work with what we got, and, you know, like I can see that there, like I said yesterday, needs a bit of hammer and dolly. There's a few pinholes that I need to address. I might get the TIG out, practice with it a bit more. I cut a slit through there, trying to kind of bring it more together. I think I just need to keep growing it up until it actually closes. Yeah, I just like to there was just a peak in there that was troubling me, but I'm just not exactly sure how to get that down, so I'll just keep working on it. The fun continues, I'll just keep cracking. Well, that's one more little repair done. So I've got, you know, from there to there. I'm just going to try and do this in sections to try and leave the good stuff, you know, there. So the next one I'll just go from, you know, from there to there. I might just try and plug that hole, and then I'll go kind of from, you know, there to there maybe, and then maybe plug a couple of them holes, see how we go. Well, it's another couple of hours of my evening spent welding and grinding, and, you know, it's the small progresses, the small things that count. Anyway, I mean, I've ground up that back panel. I'm fairly happy with it. It's you know, it's a lot better than it was. I think that'll come up good. The windscreen's just about repaired. So that repair done. I just finished doing that repair there. I've only got those two holes to do there. I managed to plug up a couple of holes there, so I'll probably get onto that, you know, tomorrow or over the weekend. So basically I've got that big repair to do there, and then I've just got to sort out, you know, the heater channels. What I'm doing there, I've decided what I'm going to actually do there is I'm going to run my radiator lines through that outside of the heater channel. I think that's going to work. So I'll cut that off, bend up a stainless steel pipe that runs through that heater channel, tucks up the front there, and then kind of in to the radiator, both sides. And then I've got the old fuel door hole to do. And then I've just got to do this, this section that goes over the chassis rails, sort that out. And we're basically there. I mean, this thing's ready to start bodyworking. It's a lot, and that's why this project's been shelved for so long, but I've just got to get into it. I've just got to make these small steps and get this thing actually, you know, moving forward. So I'll keep cracking at it.